Welcome, amid all the controversies in the world, everything that's gone awry, everything that's happening. I want to take you on a journey with me, to a better, more simple time. As kids, we never really learn about the times that we spend on those playgrounds, that the time we spend goofing off with our friends will easily become some of the best memories in our lives. Makes some people wonder why we don't tell our kids more often, so maybe they can try and have a way better time than we hopefully did, and make more memories. Now, today I'm going to be ranking core childhood memories, and hopefully bringing up a little nostalgia in a couple of them. First of all, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to be ranking things. The tier list is going to go from SS to D. D means the memory was kind of rancid, kind of garbage, kind of dog shit. C, average, nothing out of the old. C is like average, but a little bit worse than average. B is average, nothing abnormal. A is good, but not. A is like okay. S is very good, and SS is just sort of a event or toy or something that defined and shaped your childhood. Now, first up, I'm going to go straight into the classic, the parachute. The parachute, for me, well, actually, first, hold on. Alright, there we go. So, first of all, I'm going to enter the parachute right away, popping off at an A tier. If you didn't play with these things, it's kind of like what people did with them was often there's two games that come to mind, and one of them was like alligators or something. Then there was the one where people would push the parachute up, like you'd start waving it up and down, and you'd eventually get it to go up. And then, like in the picture that I'm about to put on the screen, that you'd sit on all the corners, and then when the teacher said like blue, run over, the blue sides would all run, find a different spot on the opposite side. And honestly, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't like super great. Like, it was definitely. They're these like assorted toy thing, like bricks, I guess. I'm gonna put it on screen anyways. It seems like every school had one of these sets. I don't know why. I went to a couple elementary schools when I was growing up, but it seemed like every place has one of these sets. I think, like personally, my favorite I remember was the hexagons. For some reason, they were just the easiest to build with, the most fun. Moving on, I'm gonna go to cool math games. That's honestly a solid S tier. It's very good memory. I remember playing a lot of games like Duck Life. I mean, there was Duck Life, there was Fireboy Water Girl, there was Run. Uh, I mean, it was like anything. I mean, there was like chess. I mean, there was a lot of games I played on there. Papa's Pizzeria, all the pizzeria and like uh, that line of games, it was all like super fun. Easy S tier, no doubt about it. Um, then I'm gonna move on to like probably school pizza parties. Bro, school pizza parties were such an L. Like that was an absolute D tier memory. Just cause like it was so dog shit. Like we would do something so good. Like all of our class would get like an A or some shit. Like some huge event that required a little bit more, right? And then they would give us this goddamn tiny ass piece of pizza. Like it was the smallest pizza you've ever seen. Honestly, it the only like the pizza party itself sucked, but the memories were all right. So I think I'm gonna move it up to C just because like the memories were kind of fun. I'm gonna move on to running competitions. I'm gonna put that at a B because like in elementary, I've seen on like Reddit and a lot of places like it seems like everyone's childhood was kind of the same in a couple of these aspects, especially this one. Running competitions quite literally like defined your social status. Like not even joking with you. If you were like the fastest runner, you would be like a god among men. And there was this dude, oh, I'm so jealous of him. He was like 5 foot tall, and he was like I don't know, like 110 pounds at the time. And we were in like fourth grade, or not fourth grade, maybe like fifth grade. He was still just this monster, like he was crazy. Anyways, he'd always beat me, and I always got like second or third. But the reason why I put it at B as like a mid memory is because like if you didn't win those races, like I got an injury at some point in time, and I couldn't really run. And let me tell you what, when you lose those races, like it's borderline bullying what people do to you. Like it's kind of garbage. Like I don't know, man. I'm gonna go Scholastic Book Fair. Solid A tier or S tier. Sorry. That's a solid S tier memory. I remember, like they had these trailers. It'd be trailers for books people would be interested in, and those were slapped. First of all, then we're gonna go into those little gadgets and toys and everything they had at the counter. Most people, including me, barely went to the book section. The only reason I'd go into the book section was to look for like Pokemon guides to buy or something. But I was so glued to those like places where there was just like a bunch of gadgets and trinkets. They were so overpriced, but it was just so fun and worth it. It was definitely worth it, to be honest. I'm gonna go minute math. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Bro, these minute math questions, like they'd always give you some enticing prize, like I remember for our class it was a sundae, like a banana split sundae or something. I don't remember what they called it. And we had to accomplish every single one of the tables for 1 through 12. And to me, in like the third grade, this was huge. Like this was huge. I had to practice for this shit. Like it was not coming to me naturally, and math kind of still isn't coming to me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. But honestly, D tier memory. Don't have any good. Like even in the Sunday split party, it was kind of mid. Like they gave us 2 small scoops of ice cream with it. It wasn't that great. Anyways, recess, easy S tier. I don't really have to explain that. Like every good part of the school day came during lunch and recess. Yeah, I don't really think that that needs an explanation. I'm gonna move on to the disciplinary system. The disciplinary system back then was like actual garbage. Like it was abysmal. I remember at some points where my teacher they had this like so on the doors, like maybe in the door frame or something, they would have this stick. Like in the image you can see, it's like this stick with variations from green down to like really dark red, sometimes purple even in our classes. And our teachers would be like, if you did something bad, our teachers would be like, oh, move your stick down to red. You're going to the principal's, young man. And I remember this one story. So at this point in time, I didn't get my glasses yet, and I was like blind as a bat. I couldn't see shit on the board. I thought that the board was white, but my teacher was like, no, there's actually words on the board. And I was like, you're lying to me. And then I was looking up at the ceiling, right? And I looked back down, and she was like, did you roll your eyes at me? And then she sent me to the principal's, and it was like, bro, like she went crazy on like second grade me, and it was like, god damn. Alright, I'm gonna go Matchbox cars. That's honestly like it tottering to SS. Matchbox cars for me, it was like that was like something I could bond with my dad on. You know what I mean? And I feel like bond with a lot of people my age because it's like there was so many people who just loved collecting Matchbox cars. I don't know about you guys, but that was huge where I'm at, you know? And this is also another clone of Matchbox cars, but I accidentally put in the the PNG wrong. So let's just pretend for a second, well, for the whole time, that's Pokemon, right? Pokemon was a banger memory. I remember Pokemon cards and the show. If you haven't watched the show recently, I believe that's the last episode of OG Pokemon, I want to say, because he did become the world champ. That is a spoiler, by the way. But I mean, we all saw that coming. It's been like fucking 20 years in the making. I don't think I spoiled that for anyone. But anyways, so that's most definitely like a solid memory. And I remember like when you were trading Pokemon cards, like you were like a drug dealer. Like you were dealing the good shit if you were like trading Pokemon cards or giving any away. Like it was honestly like it made you popular. And it honestly, I remember playing Pokemon with a bunch of my friends at school. We'd play the no rules, no energy version. And it was basically, you just put down your cards based on You just put down your cards, and you didn't have to evolve them or anything like that, and it was super fun. I mean, obviously, it ended up in like a power battle, but I remember my Snorlax was my strongest Pokemon card. Anyways, I'm getting a little sidetracked, to be honest. Um, Move on to school desks. Honestly, school desks, like, if they didn't do desk searches and if we didn't have to share desks with people, like when we were moving classes, it would honestly be a B or an A tier. Like it was a good like thing because I remember I'd mess around with shit in my desks and stuff. But there was just so many desk searches at our school, and it was just not worth it. Like it just made it such a C tier memory. I'm gonna go with PBS Kids. Honestly, teetering again, but I'm gonna say SS tier. The amount of mornings woke up early. So this is back in elementary school. I used to go to elementary school at like I don't know, like 9:30, maybe 10. You know, it was pretty late. It was pretty late in the day, you know. But I used to wake up early, quote unquote. And me waking up early was me waking up at like 6:30 or 7, so I could catch the 2 episodes of Curious George that aired in the morning before I went to school, you know? And that was such a good memory. Curious George, oh, that show is like, if I could give it SSS, I would. That show is amazing. Carried PBS Kids so hard. That and Arthur super carried PBS Kids. Like, you can't even convince me otherwise. I don't think anyone will try to convince me, but either way, where is it? Yeah, I already did recess. The school computer lab. Yeah, I have some stories about my school computer lab. Honestly, it was, if we didn't have that teacher, it would honestly be an A tier. Like, it was a great, it was fun getting to play on the computers with your friends on like Fridays and stuff. Some of the teachers didn't care, but I'm gonna be honest, like, it wasn't that fun most of the time because most of the time we had to like do typing classes and shit like that. And honestly, like learning to type was a huge struggle for me. I'm good now, I'm fucking nutty now, but back then it was like that was a huge struggle, you know? Like typing without looking at my hands, fuck. Might as well be asking me to fucking fight a bear or something. That was not happening. Ninjago, another SS tier. When I say when I'm talking about Ninjago, though, I'm going to say including Legos. Like that, this was my first forte into Legos was seeing Ninjago because I saw it really young. I saw it when I was like 6, maybe, or I don't know. Either way, whichever came first didn't matter. But both of those things, like Legos, it was like I had such a strong imagination as a childhood, and to be able to make things like that come true, like be able to do things and create things from like based on my memory, because I'm a shitty drawer. Well, I mean not shitty, but you know. But that was it, you know. Like Legos, I admittedly played with Legos a lot too long. I mean, like there's no age limit on them or anything, but I think I played with them for quite a while. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Anyways, yeah. I'm gonna go with Beyblades. Honestly, Beyblades is an A tier memory. I know a lot of people would put it near S or SS, but I didn't get into the show, and like the only thing I got into was the Beyblade aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like I never watched the show, so the actual Beyblading part of it wasn't as significant for me, to be honest. Anyways, I'm gonna go into like counselor days. Bro, counselor days were so like D-rated. I'd give it F if I could, but I think that'd be too much tiers for just the amount of stuff we have. I think like the counselors, it was like they meant so well, but their message was so like misconstrued. It was so ill delivered, I suppose, and I remember that Dare campaign and like everything. Like it was a lot. I think there was a lot going on there. I think I'm gonna put Boys versus Girls in B tier. Actually, I think I'm gonna pop PBS Kids down to S tier because all the other tiers were kind of mid. Like all the other shows on there were kind of mid, but also I don't want the SS tier to be overcrowded. But so what I'm saying is like Curious George SS all the way, but all the shows as a collective kind of drops it down to an S. But Boys vs. Girls was huge because it was like, it was just kind of this thing that happened, and I remember it got down like we would do everything Boys vs. Girls. Like, no matter what it was, what sport, what event, anything. Even sometimes academics. But then, there was a huge event from like from like third grade to like fifth grade. We would play this infection tag. So we had like ranks, assigned roles, we had our own bases and shit, we had hideouts, we had strats to attack the other side, and it was like infection tag. If infection tag was like playing war, you know, like we were mimicking a war basically, and it was crazy. There was fights and shit. But one distinct memory, I remember this one girl, so our commander, his name was Kobe, and he was like trying to capture the leader of the other side. And I remember he grabbed her arm, but he grabbed it a little too tight, and then she tried to run away, and it like yanked her arm in this like weird way, and then it broke her wrist. So then she ended up like, her parents ended up like suing the school or something, and then basically what ended up happening was the school like banned everything. It was crazy, like they just banned everything. It was like, damn, like they really just went all out on us. Anyways, I think I'm gonna move on to, well, I mean, I have to move on to Wii Sports, but I think Wii Sports totters between A and B, but just for the sake of this, I'm gonna give it A. And the reason why it kind of totters for me is because Wii Sports was always that game that had extremely low replayability. I like games where I can come back to it after a while, like after like tomorrow, like I can daily come back to it, and there will always be something there for me. But Wii Sports just wasn't that game for me, you know, like it was kind of like a, I'm gonna play it once a month with my friends, and then I'm not gonna think about it or play it again until then, you know? And for those reasons, it's getting ranked at A only because I had like super good memories of it, you know? Like it was very fun when we did play. But yeah, I hope some of that was like, I hope me ranting a little bit about some of my memories and tier listing them stirred up some nostalgia in you, you know? Got the old nostalgia boner up, you know? And that's about all I have right now. If you have any other memories, please feel free to comment them down below. DM me on like fucking Discord or Instagram. You know, I'm a lot of places now. Fuck it, you could use Twitter if you wanted. You know. Anyways, feel free to recommend me some other like ideas that you have as well, if you have any. My next video should be coming out relatively soon. I already have it kind of mapped out. I may make a part 2 of this if I have enough like requests and I have enough like new ideas for it. So if you want me to tier list something else or just leave some other comments, just leave it down below. Any comment is appreciated. It helps like game the algorithm to hell. And yeah, I hope you have a fabulous day. I do hope you have a great Thanksgiving break. And with Thanksgiving break coming, I hope to get better and faster at coming out with content. I've had this weird like rut and lack of motivation to make content, if that makes any sense. Anyways, love you guys and goodbye.